If you've been applying to business school in January, it's about to be interview season. There's so many pitfalls and minefields waiting for you at this stage of the journey, and I'm here with you to help you make the most of those MBA interview invite offers so that you can convert them into admit seats and ideally scholarships. Welcome back to MBA Monday. I'm Angela, your MBA guardian angel, still nursing a little bit of laryngitis from last year, as you can hear. But since it's interview season and interviews are my favorite part of this process, I'm here to help you navigate interviews with confidence. This is the first video in year 7. I've been making videos about getting into business school for 6 full years now, and this video marks the beginning of year 7. We have all kinds of amazing things in store for you this year if you are looking to up-level your career through an MBA program. So I hope you will subscribe and follow along, because I'm going to be with you every week to help you get into the MBA program of your dreams. Today I'm talking about the one question that most MBA applicants botch. It's not the one you're thinking. So if you go to the internet or type into your favorite AI, what MBA interview questions can I expect in my interview with Kellogg, Booth, Columbia, whatever the schools are that you're applying to, you'll find that the questions converge around 4 major question types. There are questions about your past experiences. We call these behavioral questions. There are point blank questions about your values, about the things that matter to you, about your leadership style. There are questions about your future and why you want to go to this MBA program, how it fits in with your goals. And finally, there's the opening question in the majority of MBA interviews, which is, tell me about yourself, or walk me through your resume. I think of these 2 questions as pretty much the same question. And believe it or not, this is the question that many MBA applicants botch. By the way, if you'd like a deeper dive into the core types of questions that appear in most MBA interviews, head on over to this link on the screen or this QR code and download our MBA interview readiness checklist. I'm going to make it free for you this week so that you can do the very best you can do to prepare for those exciting opportunities to convert interviews into offers as you're continuing on your MBA journey in round 2. The reason they botch it is twofold. First of all, it seems like a softball question. It seems like the interviewer is just giving you a layup to get the conversation started. That's true, but rather than treating it as a powder puff question, you actually want to treat it as the most important question in the interview, because this is where you're going to make your first impression. It's where you're going to set the tone for the entire rest of the conversation. That means you need to take ownership of that moment to really show the interviewer who you are and what's most important about your candidacy. That requires you to be self-aware and strategic about the framework you choose to answer that question. The second reason why most MBA applicants botch this question is because they go with the tried and true why-line framework approach to answering this question. They take a look at what the internet says and what AI says, and they frame their answer in terms of whys. In terms of the major that they chose in college and why they chose it, the first job that they chose and why. Then they might outline some achievements they had in that job. Then they talk about their next step and why. And in the end, all they're doing is explaining the rationale behind the career moves that they may or may not have made on their journey. While this approach to answering this question can be correct for some applicants, it is the absolute wrong approach for the vast majority of applicants. And so if you try to cram your tell me about yourself or your walk me through into this framework, you will be leaving many, many points on the table in helping the interviewer connect with you, understand your story, your MBA platform, and what makes you a unique and valuable applicant. You will fail to kick off that conversation in a way that is collegial, conversational, and puts you on equal footing as your MBA interviewer peer, which, by the way, they are If you go to this program, you're going to be an MBA just like them. If you're talking to a student or an alum, you are future fellow members of the same community. That's a peer-to-peer relationship. Let me talk you through 3 example MBA candidates and explain why this approach is the worst approach for the walk me through question. You might want to reference this video right here that I posted last year about the 3 primary MBA applicant types. And in that video, I help you map your background and your future to the needs that you might have in your MBA program and the kind of career change you're looking to make post-MBA. Knowing that is core to shaping all of your interview answers. So please go ahead and check out that video if you haven't already. I'm going to be referencing it as I go through this one. So let's take candidate type number 1. We're going to call you the climber. You are going from management consulting, pre-MBA, back into management consulting, post-MBA. Or maybe you went into banking and then private equity, and you're planning to stay in private equity post-MBA. This candidate is called the climber because you're not making a big change. You're using the MBA to up-level yourself in your current career. That also means that you haven't made a ton of revolutionary choices throughout your career so far. It's like during college, you went through the interview process with one of these very competitive consulting firms or investment banks, and you got the offer. Maybe there was a reason why you targeted consulting or banking, but that reason is probably not super creative or interesting. It's probably one that the admissions committee has heard 1,000, if not thousands and thousands of times before. It's certainly not what will differentiate you from your fellow management consultants. The reason you chose consulting doesn't differentiate you from all the other consultants. Not only that, you probably spent the majority of your career either in just one company or in 2 companies where moving between them is sort of the very obvious path. Most people who enter private equity come from banking. So to talk about why you pivoted from banking into private equity, again, is not going to do anything to differentiate you from all the other applicants like you. Instead, rather than using the why line and describing your choices and why you made them, your best approach is going to be to showcase some key achievements throughout your work so far and to reveal your passion for the work that you're currently doing, which explains why you intend to continue that work post-MBA and why the MBA is important for you. Now, tell me about yourself is not the same as why do you want an MBA? That said, your answer to this question will form the foundation of the entire conversation. Why you want an MBA should gently be foreshadowed, even in the walk me through your resume. So if you're a climber, if you're staying in your same basic job function and industry post-MBA, don't talk about why you made the choices you made as you're answering, tell me about yourself. Instead, focus on your unique achievements, your unique passion for the industry that you're in. Set the tone for that conversation based on what you love about your current role. Now let's look at candidate number 2. Candidate number 2 has worked at Google for 4 years, has worked their way into a product management role, and is planning to transition into health tech. They're going to take everything they've learned at Google and go join a smaller, faster growing enterprise, still within the tech space, but focused on health and well-being. For this candidate to use the why line is hopefully obviously nonsensical to you because they really only made one choice. They joined Google. And since then, they've been at Google. Now, they may have made different choices about the kinds of projects that they tackled at Google, but again, why they chose a given project over another is probably not the best way for this candidate to differentiate themselves from all the other tech product managers that are applying to the top MBA program that they're applying to. This candidate is one that we call the cross-trainer, according to that other video I made, meaning they already have a really solid foundation pre-MBA for the post-MBA career they're hoping to pursue. And they're really looking to the MBA to diversify and round out their skill set so that they're able to play a more senior role, make bigger and more important strategic decisions post-MBA, but leveraging everything they learned pre-MBA to have an impact in usually a smaller and faster growing company post MBA. That's the cross trainer. So what the cross trainer probably needs to do in their walk me through is, again, not explain why, but instead showcase their conviction for the path they intend to pursue post MBA and how that came to be. So for example, our Google product manager, maybe let's say they work in Google Chrome. So all their tech work has been focused on the browser. But outside of work, they're an athlete, they're a yoga instructor, they have a huge passion for fitness and wellness. So their plan is to merge those two in their post-MBA career through joining a health tech company where all their tech experience is relevant and their passion for fitness and well-being can be front and center in their career. So that person's walk me through needs to include information about their life outside of work so that the future merging of those two things will make perfect sense to the person they're talking to, and they can open the door to all kinds of conversations, not just about their career, but about their passion for health and fitness. Totally different approach to the why line. And finally, let's talk about candidate type 3. I'll use an example of a military candidate who's seeking to transition from public service to the private sector. They have a lot of leadership experience, but no experience in commerce, business, or industry. So they're really looking to the MBA to help them transition from general leadership to business-specific leadership. We call this candidate the Iron Man because they have so much to learn during their MBA. They're going to need to really immerse themselves in all the different business functions. It's really like a crash course in business for this type of candidate. Likewise, this candidate may not know exactly what industry and function they intend to pursue post-MBA. And so part of the value of the MBA is helping them figure that out, which is why they need such a broad base of learning during the MBA program. So this person's walk me through really needs to plant the seed of transformation that the MBA will provide. In other words, you need to showcase your achievements in your field thus far, which is, in this case, military, totally different from the business sector. But it also needs to plant the seed of why you came to be interested in business or even a specific function in business in the first place. So you want to showcase the achievements within your military track record that relate to the type of role you might like to play post-MBA. Let's take, for example, someone who's really interested in supply chain. They love logistics, they love operations, they love making things move through a system that's incredibly complicated and expensive. So this person is going to talk about their work in the military that related to logistics, supply chain, and operations under very challenging circumstances as the reason why they became interested in playing a similar role in a non-military context post-MBA. So this person is going to highlight unique achievements that relate specifically to their strawman post-MBA career goal when they do the walk me through your resume. Now, whatever candidate you are, whether you relate to candidates 1 or 2 or 3 or none of the above, the main takeaway of this video is that you have to be really specific to yourself when you choose the way to walk the interviewer through your resume. Your answer has to be unique to you and unique to your future, so that you're establishing that relationship with your interviewer on a positive, passionate, and purposeful foundation, so that the questions that come at you after the walk me through really allow you to shine and show your unique strengths and passions. You don't want to blend in with the crowd, no matter which candidate you are. Just explaining your choices and why you made them is going to make your candidacy fall flat. If you'd like more training in getting ready for your interviews, we have all kinds of interview prep services that you can read about at this link down below. If you'd like to request a call to talk with me or a member of my team about how we can help you get ready to crush those MBA interviews, you can always request a call at mbaprotocol.com/MBA. We have over 17 years of experience of taking candidates from unsure about how to present themselves to fully confident and ready to crush any MBA interview that comes their way. In fact, it's what we live for. It's what we're passionate about. I hope to see you in one of those calls, and I hope that you've got a lot of great interview news coming your way. Stay tuned next week. I've got more advice on how to help you crush those MBA interviews on MBA Monday. I'll see you then. If you want to check out an even deeper dive into how to walk me through your resume, check out this video. Welcome back to MBA Monday. Wow, my eyelashes are hitting the glasses. That's not cool. Keep hitting the microphone with my chin.